Discover the incredible truth of how Genghis Khan's actions forever changed lives of 1,000 women. Sarah wiped sweat from her brow as she served steaming plates at the diner, where the clatter of forks and laughter echoed through the walls like a familiar melody. Yet, beneath the surface, her heart raced with anxiety. As a single mother of Mia and Jake, each bill felt like a wave threatening to drown her in worries. She longed for more than this endless cycle of work and struggle. One quiet afternoon, while clearing out the attic, she stumbled upon a dusty treasure, her grandmother's diary. Its worn pages crackled as she flipped through them, revealing stories of strength and tenacity that sent shivers down her spine. "Wow, Grandma did all this?" she whispered, tears pooling in her eyes. With each entry, Sarah's heart swelled as she read tales that connected her to a rich lineage, stories of women who faced overwhelming odds, shaped by a legacy tracing back to Genghis Khan. The realization struck her like a lightning bolt: she shared blood with fierce women who thrived against adversity. A surge of hope ignited within her. Perhaps her life could change, too. But sharing her discovery with her father felt like diving into cold water. "You need to focus on feeding your kids, not chasing stories," he scoffed, his words slicing through her resolve like a sharpened knife. Doubt crept in, a familiar shadow threatening to envelop the flickering flame of inspiration she had just uncovered. What if he was right? Her dreams felt absurd next to the reality of day-to-day survival. With a mix of dread and determination, Sarah decided to organize a local event at the town hall. She could see it in her mind: a night of shared history, a gathering of support with their town holding hands, cherishing their roots. But as she made phone calls and sent messages, her excitement deflated like a balloon unexpectedly let loose. Lackluster responses piled on, each one a reminder that her community was weighed down by its own struggles. On the verge of despair, she questioned her worth. Could she really lead this charge amidst a sea of indifference? "Mom, don't give up," Mia shouted one evening, wide-eyed and fervent. It stunned her. In a flash, her kids morphed from children into her champions. Jake chimed in, "We'll help you. We can make flyers and tell everyone." Their infectious enthusiasm illuminated the room and rekindled the fire in Sarah's heart. She chuckled as they dashed around, crafting colorful handouts and roping in friends at school. It was their innocence that sparked the interest of the community again. But as the event approached, anxiety resurfaced like a stubborn weed. The pressure of everyone expecting her to succeed made her chest tighten. Overwhelmed, she wondered if this was all an illusion. Just when her faith began to waver, Sarah faced her father again during a tense family dinner, feeling the weight of generations on her shoulders. "You don't understand. We need to remember where we came from," she exclaimed, her voice trembling yet powerful. In that moment, she saw fragile bonds tremor as disputes flickered in the air, yet hope shimmered on the horizon. Would people rally together, or would divisions reap havoc? Just as she thought it all might fall apart, she spotted a prominent detail in her grandmother's diary, a family secret begging to be revealed, shaking Sarah's understanding of her lineage. The pivotal link awaited her. Would this knowledge unlock the freedom she craved for her family and community? Only time would tell if she could reclaim her future, armed with a legacy that promised resilience and inspiration. The days leading up to the town hall event blurred into a whirlwind of nervous energy and anticipation. With Mia and Jake by her side, their youthful exuberance coaxed a sense of promise from their mother's heart. Together, they hung colorful flyers around town, each one adorned with bold letters: "Discover our heritage, a night of stories." Every knock on a neighbor's door felt like a small leap into the unknown. Will they come? Sarah's heart raced at the thought. Yet with each encouraging nod from the familiar faces, a flicker of hope grew stronger in her. The community, though burdened by its own struggles, seemed eager for connection, even if just for one night. As she prepared a simple meal one evening, Sarah caught a glimpse of herself in the window. Gone was the woman drenched in uncertainty, she saw a warrior in her own right. Glancing over at her children tossing around vibrant crayons as they designed more flyers, she felt the warmth of purpose envelop her. But that comfort was fleeting. Just as she put down the spatula, her father's voice echoed in her ears, casting a nagging shadow on her newfound strength. "Stick to what's practical, Sarah." His doubt felt like a chain, heavy and unyielding, dragging behind her no matter how fast she tried to run. The night of the event arrived, and the town hall buzzed with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Sarah felt her heart thudding against her chest as she arranged the chairs, feeling each heartbeat resonate in the silent anticipation of the room. She caught snippets of conversations, laughter mingling with uncertainty. Would this night fall flat or ignite something within them all? Mia and Jake bounced on their toes, their enthusiasm refusing to dwindle. "Mom, look! Everyone's here!" Jake exclaimed, pointing across the room. Sarah turned to see a gathering unfold, faces she recognized and some she didn't. Every chair filled bolstered her courage, but as the clock ticked closer to start time, a swell of fear threatened to rise once again. When she took her place at the front, Sarah's palms felt clammy and her throat tightened. She looked at her children, their eyes shining brightly with hope, and then scanned the crowd. Each face seemed to hold its own stories that deserved to be heard. She opened her mouth, silence wrapping around the room like a comforting blanket. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice surprisingly steady. "Tonight, we honor the incredible women in our lives and the legacies they built. I discovered the diary of my grandmother, and it revealed not just her struggles, but her resilience that mirrors our own." A soft murmur spread through the crowd, heads nodding in recognition. The air thickened with a shared breath of anticipation. As Sarah recounted her grandmother's trials, she felt a connection forming, branches of hope extending toward the audience. Waiting for her, like a whisper in the wind, was the family secret hiding in the diary, an untold story reaching deep into her roots. Some of our greatest strengths come from our past. Sarah paused, as the realization dawned on her. The pivotal link lying within her grandmother's tale was about to surface, bringing with it a revelation full of power. What if this secret can change everything? She wondered, feeling the gaze of the community lifting her spirit higher. But before she could unveil that truth, a sudden crash echoed from the back of the room, jolting everyone out of their reverie. What was that? Mia whispered to Jake, and Sarah's heart raced as she turned to the source of the commotion. Was this a sign of things falling apart, or could it be an unexpected turn that would bring them all closer together? Only moments would tell. The noise echoed again, breaking the fragile silence like a thunderclap. Sarah's heart skittered in her chest. She turned to see what had caused the disturbance, but her focus wavered, flicking between the startled faces in the crowd and her children's wide eyes filled with wonder. A man had stumbled back, knocking over a stack of chairs. His cheeks burned red as he tried to collect himself, but there was a spark in his eyes. "Sorry. I got a bit carried away." He laughed nervously, pointing at his feet where he had tripped over the leg of a chair. There were a few chuckles that rippled through the audience, and the moment lifted the tension that had threatened to smother them all. With a grin, Sarah saw the flicker of camaraderie in the crowd, how laughter could break barriers just as easily as stories might bind them. Taking a breath, she grounded herself in the moment. "That's life, isn't it?" she said, feeling the tension ease further. "Sometimes we trip, but we keep moving. That's what our stories are about, our resilience." The crowd leaned in, their eyes sparkling with curiosity, and Sarah could feel the energy shift. "Tonight, we gather not just to listen but to share the strength we've gleaned from our heritage," she continued. "And I want to share with you the powerful legacy of my grandmother." As she spoke, Sarah began to weave her grandmother's tale into the room. Her words painted vivid images of hardship, determination, and unfathomable love that crossed generations. The flickering candlelight danced as if it too listened intently to every word. With each detail recounted, she saw the faces in the audience soften, deepen with empathy. There were nods as Sarah touched on themes of survival that resonated, the rejections, the struggles, and ultimately the warmth that blossomed when family came together. Each heartbeat in the room felt synchronized with the rhythmic pulse of her storytelling. Then, as she neared the unveiling of her grandmother's secret, Sarah felt a rush of energy from the crowd. She could almost taste the anticipation hanging in the air. Then it hit her: the family secret she had unearthed from the diary was not just a revelation for her, but potentially for everyone there. Suddenly the lights flickered. For a second, the whole hall plunged into darkness, and gasps echoed among the people. Sarah's heart thudded loudly in her ears, the murmur of the audience filling the void. Just then, a voice broke through the darkness, strong and clear. "We're all in this together." It was Mrs. Stevens, the town librarian. Her words were like an anchor, reminding everyone of their shared bond. The lights came back on, and Sarah caught sight of her children holding hands, eyes wide with excitement. They were alight with resilience and hope, and suddenly the fear of failure dissolved into a fierce determination. Sarah felt her strength solidify; she could rise above every doubt. As the room settled, she cleared her throat again. "I've learned that our past doesn't define us, but it does empower us." She took a step closer to the audience, her heart open wide. "And I want to share with you this secret, a story that has the power to change everything." Just as she was about to reveal the truth, the lights flickered once more, this time for a longer spell. The crowd murmured, and Sarah felt the weight of unspoken questions hover in the air. What lay beneath her grandmother's story? What truth would change their lives? A ripple of nervous energy danced in her stomach. What if the secret wasn't what she hoped it to be? The sense of urgency lingered. Why does it feel like the world is holding its breath? She wondered silently, ready to unveil the truth that just might shift everything. What if revealing this legacy changed their understanding of who they were? Would it spark a flame of determination in this small community? And what lay ahead as the clock continued its relentless march? Only moments remained until the revelation. What would happen next? As the lights flickered back on, Sarah felt the warmth of the audience's gaze envelop her. Her heart raced, propelled by the shared anticipation thick in the air. "I've kept my grandmother's secret for too long," she murmured, unable to mask the tremor in her voice. Every pair of eyes reflected her inner turmoil, urging her to continue. She took a deep breath. "Growing up, I heard whispers of a legacy tied to our family's past. They were not just stories, they were echoes of survival, resilience woven into every fiber of who we are." Her voice trembled with the weight of her words. Around her, the crowd shifted, an ocean of faces leaning in closer. She could see the curiosity, the hope, a spark ignited by the hint of a truth that might bind them all together. "Tonight, I want to share the story of my grandmother, but it is also about all of us." As she prepared to unveil the truth, she recalled the pages from her grandmother's diary, the heart-wrenching tales of struggles faced and battles fought. Her thoughts wandered to the hidden strength that allowed her grandmother to rise from the ashes of her hardships. She faced unimaginable choices when war struck her homeland. In the midst of chaos, she chose to protect those who could not protect themselves. The murmurs of the audience faded into a profound silence. Sarah could sense their readiness, and it emboldened her. But here's the twist: my grandmother was not just a victim of her circumstances. She found empowerment through her struggles. She formed a coalition of women, mothers, and daughters across her village. Together, they stood against the tide, offering support and sanctuary to anyone in need. A single tear rolled down her cheek, a physical response to the weight of revelation. "These women," she continued, her voice catching, "they formed a sisterhood, a resilience that echoed through generations." The room erupted in soft gasps, a ripple of understanding passing through. Sarah's voice strengthened. It was more than survival, it was a testament to the power of community, the fire ignited by shared pain and hope. Yet, there's a twist that even I didn't know until recently. She faltered for just a moment, weighing the gravity of the words she was about to unleash. "My grandmother's actions didn't just forge a new path for us, they changed the fates of 1,000 women across the region, women who, like her, had been silenced, forgotten, and dismissed." Eyes widened in disbelief, hearts beat louder as she shared the shock. the power they held collectively was greater than they had ever known. Through her courage, she inspired others to rise against oppression, Sarah said, each word heavy with emotion. Every time I share her story, I am reminded that the truth has the power to change lives. The energy pulsed, almost tangible, and Sarah felt as if she was standing at the edge of something monumental. What we do with this legacy is up to us now. We must ask ourselves, will we let the past inspire our actions today? Will we forge our own paths in the face of challenges? A child's voice called out from the audience, breaking the heavy silence. What happened to those women? It was a simple question, but it struck a chord that resonated deep within Sarah. Her heartbeat quickened again. What came after her grandmother's story was a tapestry of triumphs, struggles, and shared victories that had yet to be narrated. The room buzzed with curiosity, tension tightening like a drum. Where did her grandmother's legacy lead? How could they continue this transformative journey? The night felt electric, and Sarah realized she stood not just as a storyteller but as a bridge to a future woven with the threads of the past. She could see what lay ahead was not merely about revealing secrets but about embarking on a path toward collective empowerment. As the audience watched her, leaning forward with bright eyes full of possibility, Sarah felt something profound stirring within her. A renewed purpose. Just as she opened her mouth to answer the child's question, a sudden sound interrupted a resounding knock from outside pulled everyone's awareness away. What awaited them beyond the doors? The unexpected tension sent a chill through the hall, leaving Sarah's heart racing. What secrets lay waiting just out of sight? Could this be the catalyst for a new chapter in their journey? The knock came again, louder this time, echoing through the room like a heartbeat. Sarah's breath hitched as the audience exchanged uneasy glances. What was behind that door? "Stay here," a brave young man murmured to the others, though his voice quivered, betraying his own fear. Everyone's attention was drawn to the door, a heavy wooden barrier that now felt like a portal to another world. The air was thick with anticipation, and Sarah could almost feel the weight of their collective heartbeat. With hesitant steps, she approached the door, her mind racing with possibilities. After the revelations she had just shared, what could possibly await them? Could it be someone seeking answers, or perhaps a messenger of hope? As she reached for the handle, the door swung open abruptly. A gust of chilly wind rushed in, bringing with it a sense of urgency. Standing at the entrance was an elderly woman, her silver hair cascading over her shoulders, her eyes wide with determination. There was an unyielding strength in her posture, a hint of desperation woven into her expression. "Please," the woman implored, her voice quavering yet firm. I heard what you were saying about the sisterhood. I had to come." Sarah's heart raced at the sight of her. "You know about them?" She felt a flicker of hope. "Can you tell us?" The woman stepped closer, the faint flickers of the overhead lights illuminating the weathered lines of her face. "My name is Mai," she said, her voice a soft tremor. "I was one of them. The tale you shared, it changed my life, and I have truths to add." The room was utterly captivated. A chorus of whispers erupted, but Sarah raised a hand for silence. "Please, tell us everything," she urged, her heart thudding in her chest. She could sense that what Mai had to say would lift the veil on their shared legacy. Mai took a deep breath, gathering the memories that had long been tucked away. "After the war, we forged a new life filled with struggles, yes, but also unimaginable victories. The women we fought for, they didn't stop fighting either." Her eyes gleamed, reflecting unspoken tales. Some were able to build businesses, others became leaders in their communities. A few of us started schools, teaching our children about empowerment. Each word dripped with the wisdom of experience. Sarah felt a rush of pride swell within her. The stories she had grown up hearing were not just tales of survival, they were a living testament to the power of women rising together. "What of those women you saved? What became of their stories?" "Many still carry those scars," Mai nodded, her voice thick with emotion, "but they also carry the fire. And not just in their hearts, they're lighting fires across the world now. A charged silence settled among them, each person feeling the weight of possibility. The ripple effect of Mai's words spread through the room, each heartbeat resonated with hope and resilience. But just as Sarah felt the spark igniting in those present, a new noise pierced their moment. It was a voice, clear and commanding from outside the hall. "Mai. We are ready. We need to move." Mai's expression shifted from one of warmth to urgent resolve. "I must go. But this is only the beginning." She turned back to face the crowd, eyes fierce. "The fight isn't just about our past. It's about our future." A pulse of energy surged through Sarah, the room transformed with renewed clarity. She felt the weight of her grandmother's legacy merge with the dreams of each soul in that hall. "What's next?" The child's voice rang out again, echoing her own thoughts. "Change is upon us," Mai replied, determination etched across her face as she took a step back, ready to leave. "Are you all prepared to step into the light?" With that, she disappeared into the night, leaving the audience charged with questions and curiosity. As they stood there, Sarah realized that echoes of the past had just become a clarion call for action. How could they possibly turn this newfound energy into something monumental? The collective fire had been ignited, but what would they do with it next? The room buzzed with restless energy as the door closed behind Mai. Whispers filled the air, swirling like leaves in the wind. Everyone felt it, an awakening, a stirring of something bigger. But what could they do with this spark? Sarah's thoughts raced. She stepped forward, feeling the wide eyes of her friends on her. "We can't let this fade away. If Mai is right, we have a role to play in our own stories. We need to unite and act." Some nodded, their faces lit with determination. Others looked unsure of how to channel their emotions into real change. Sarah could see the struggle on a few faces, the doubts creeping in like shadows. What do we even know about this sisterhood? A woman named Leah hesitated, her voice shaky. What if we're not strong enough? What if we fail? We don't have to have all the answers, another voice chimed in, this one belonging to James, the brave young man from before. We just need to start somewhere. We can explore what's out there and learn together. The challenge hung in the air, and Sarah felt the weight of it. There was fear, yes, but amid that fear, something else flickered: hope. The strength Mai had shown resonated deep within her. If those women had faced their battles, who were they to back down now? "Let us gather our stories," she urged. "Each of us has a tale to tell, a struggle we've faced, a victory we cherish. The more we share, the stronger we become. Together, we can lift each other." Slowly but surely, the group began to rally. One by one, people shared their experiences. Some spoke of heartbreaking losses, while others shared tales of triumph. As they talked, the tension in the room melted away, replaced by an energy of connection and vulnerability. "Remember the song our parents used to sing?" Leah said, a hint of a smile breaking through her uncertainty. It was about standing together through the storm. Sarah couldn't help but smile back. Exactly. We can be those storm clouds, and when it rains, we will pour out our collective strength. With each story, laughter and tears filled the space, stitching together the fabric of their community. In that little room, they began to feel like a family. But just as the collective spirit soared, the loud voice outside interrupted once more, "Time is of the essence. We can't wait any longer." Sarah's heart sank. Who was out there? The sense of urgency pressed on her, an invisible weight reminding them that while they were celebrating, others were moving with purpose. "What do we do now?" Someone whispered, unease creeping back into the space. "Let us not disturb what we've started," Sarah replied, her voice firm with newfound resolve. "We can use their urgency. We need to figure out how to connect with those already making a difference. We're not alone in this battle." The group buzzed with energy again, and hope turned to determination as they began to plan. But what awaited them out there remained uncertain, a world still wrapped in shadows. With a final glance at her friends, Sarah knew that the journey had only just begun. They were ready to step out of the darkness together, to search for light in the chaos. And as they gathered their thoughts, a silent agreement washed over them. They wouldn't just be a group sharing stories, they'd become a force, a beacon of hope in a troubled world. What would their next steps be? Who else might join their cause? As they walked toward the door to face whatever awaited them outside, one question loomed larger: were they really ready to embark on this journey together? The door creaked open, and a sharp draft rushed in, pulling them back to the present. Sarah's heart raced at the thought of what lay beyond that threshold. The noise outside had quieted, but the air felt thick with anticipation. "Are we doing this?" Leah asked, her voice trembling slightly. The determination in Sarah's heart was contagious, but they were still stepping into the unknown. Together, Sarah assured her, feeling suddenly like the threads of their stories were weaving a stronger bond between them. "We take this next step as one." With a collective intake of breath, they stepped outside. The sunlight washed over them, bright and blinding. The world seemed larger than they had imagined, filled with possibilities and challenges. Ahead of them, a small crowd had gathered, people were raising their voices for change. The signs they carried uplifted messages of hope and empowerment. One read, "Together, we rise." It felt electric, the air crackled with energy. "Look at that," James said, pointing to the gathering across the street. "They must be passionate about something. We should see what it's all about." Sarah's eyes widened. "What if we join them? They look like they could use more voices. How do we even start?" Leah asked, biting her lip. The fear for moments before flickered back to life. Before Sarah could answer, an older woman from the crowd stepped forward. She had a fierce look in her eyes, yet they softened as she scanned the group. "You young folks. Come on. Don't hold back. We need every voice we can find out here." The invitation stirred something deep within Sarah. It was a call to action. "Come on, guys," she shouted, the impulsive excitement pushing her forward. The group followed, step by step, their hearts beating as one, embracing the surge of purpose that propelled them. The air around them felt charged, like they were stepping into history. As they approached the crowd, the older woman's voice rang clear once more. "Today, we stand for those who can't. Today, we speak for every woman whose voice has been silenced. Let us turn our stories into strength." A wave of cheers erupted from the crowd, infectious enthusiasm that sparked gratitude and fierceness in Sarah's heart. They were all here for the same cause, weaving together the tapestry of their lives, and it started taking shape. As she looked around, Sarah saw the faces of her friends, fear fading and resolve shining through. They were ready, and in that moment, she realized, their stories were not just for them, they were tools, instruments to navigate this new, shared path. But right then, another voice cut through the noise. "We need to spread the word. If we want to make a real difference, we have to reach those who are still in the shadows." That statement blasted through the group, shaking Sarah to her core. The uncertainty gripped her, a tight knot in her stomach. Who would listen? Who would care? And just like that, a flicker of doubt sparked anew. But it didn't extinguish the flame of hope that burned inside her. Rather, it ignited a stronger resolve. She could feel the fight growing, resonating with everyone around her. "Let us share our stories. No more waiting. We will be the voices that ring out." Sarah called out, the crowd responding with roaring approval. As they rallied, the energy pulsed like a heartbeat, louder and more insistent. Each shout grew stronger, resonating through the crowd, each woman's tale tying them closer together. In that moment, Sarah made a vow not only to those standing beside her but to every woman who had ever felt alone. They would bring the light to the shadows, and they would build the sisterhood I spoke of. But even as their faces brightened with newfound zeal, a shadow fell across Sarah's mind. What if their voices reached deaf ears? What if the change they sought seemed unattainable? With that unease lingering like an echo, Sarah realized the journey had only just begun. Would they have the strength to face the giant standing in their way? As the crowd swelled around them, the drum roll of their hearts began the next chapter of their lives. But as they lifted their voices together, one question reverberated within: could they change the world, or would the world change them? The crowd seemed to expand, drawing energy from the hearts of everyone present. Sarah could hardly believe how quickly fear had transformed into courage, how their uncertainty was replaced by a shared purpose. The moment was profound, yet she felt a heaviness linger in her chest. Let us gather around, everyone. We need to make a plan. The older woman called out again. Her voice carried through the crowd, rallying people to focus, and Sarah found herself swept up in the movement. Follow me. Leah shouted, clutching James's arm as they pushed forward. Sarah fell in step with them, gripping their hands as if they were lifelines against the tumult of the moment. They took positions near the front of the crowd, where the energy surged. I feel so alive, James whispered, eyes shining bright. There was a newfound spark in Leah too, her earlier hesitation fading. But doubt still echoed in Sarah's mind. As they settled into a circle, Sarah looked around them. Each face had its own story, its own struggles. She recognized the girl they had seen at the coffee shop last week, eyes downcast. Now, she stood amidst the throng, fists clenched, determination etched into her features. All right, everyone. The older woman began again, her voice a call to arms. We need to share our stories. Each one of you has something unique to say, something that matters. We'll work together to figure out the best way to reach those who are still silent. Sarah's heart raced at the thought of sharing. What if her story wasn't enough? What if her voice trembled and broke? But then, she felt Leah squeeze her hand tight. The familiar warmth grounded her, calming the erratic beat of her heart. One by one, let us tell our truth, the woman encouraged. And remember, it's our stories that will bind us together. Our struggles, our triumphs, they shine a light on the path ahead. A wave of anticipation swept through the crowd as the first woman stepped forward. She took a deep breath and poured her heart out, recounting tales of pain and resilience. With each word, the crowd leaned in closer, absorbing every detail like a lifeline being thrown. The stories flowed like a river, connecting them all. There was a mother who fought for her daughter, a survivor standing tall against her abuser, and even a woman who felt completely lost but found hope in this moment. Each voice was a spark, igniting something within the others, creating an intricate mosaic of shared experience and strength. As Sarah listened, she felt the weight of her own story pressing on her chest, asking for release. But when her turn came, she hesitated. What if my truth isn't enough? What if it's not powerful enough? The fear returned, whispering doubts. But then she recalled all the faces around her, their smiles, their tears, the heat of their shared energy. They were all there to uplift each other, to embrace authenticity. Gathering her strength, Sarah stepped forward, trembling yet resolute. I felt lost for so long, silenced by fear, she began, her voice gaining strength with each word. But standing here, surrounded by you all, I realize that fear can't hold us back anymore. As the crowd erupted into supportive cheers, she felt a surge of confidence push through her. With the warmth of their energy fueling her voice, Sarah shared her journey, interwoven with laughter and tears. Each word felt like a thread, connecting her to those listening, creating understanding and solidarity. As the last echoes of her words faded, Sarah looked around, feeling invigorated. They were in this together, an unstoppable force ignited by hope and unity. But just then, a commotion erupted at the edge of the crowd. A group of people clad in stark uniforms, the authorities. A chill swept through the atmosphere, slashing through their moment of connection. Move aside. One of the officers shouted, marching toward the stage. You're all blocking the street. This gathering is illegal. In an instant, the collective heart of the crowd fell silent. Fear returned like a swift wind. Would they be silenced once more? Would they be forced to retreat into the shadows they so desperately wanted to shed? Sarah's mind raced. This was a pivotal moment. Was this the end of their voices rising in solidarity, or the beginning of a new fight? She looked at Leah, James, and the older woman, then turned to the crowd, feeling the simmering tension. Now more than ever, they needed a leader, a catalyst for change. Sarah took a deep breath. What could she say to rally them in the face of fear? Would she find the courage to stand tall against authority? Are we going to back down? She shouted, her voice cutting through the uncertainty, asking the question that needed to be answered. The sound of Sarah's voice echoed like a battle cry. An electric current surged through the crowd, igniting a fire that flickered out of the shadows of fear. Her words hung in the air, heavy with possibility. The tension crackled, and in the moment that followed, the world seemed to hold its breath. Are we going to back down? She repeated, her voice unwavering this time. We've come too far to let fear silence us now. As if on cue, a murmur of agreement spread through the crowd. No. Came a chorus of voices, rising like the swell of a tide. It was a sound of unity, a collective refusal to be cowed. Sarah's heart raced as she met the eyes of her friends, her neighbors, even the strangers she had only just seen. Each pair of eyes reflected back the same fierce resolve: they would stand together. One of the officers, taken aback by the crowd's response, hesitated. He glanced at his fellow officers who, while trained to enforce the law, looked uncertain, conflicted. Sarah could see doubt creeping into their stance, uncertainty in their grip on their radios. Listen. Sarah continued, her courage blooming like a flower against all odds. We are not here to cause trouble. We are here to share our stories, to let our voices be heard. We are tired of silence. We want change. We want you to hear us. The crowd erupted again, this time louder, more visceral. People began clapping, stamping their feet, creating a rhythm that echoed the heartbeat of their collective determination. The older woman stepped forward beside Sarah, raising her hands in solidarity. We have rights. She shouted. Rights to speak. Rights to assemble. We're not going anywhere. James, inspired by Sarah's courage, unfurled a banner, his voice strong and clear: we are the voices of truth. The message ignited a surge of excitement, others quickly joined, raising their own signs high in the air. Each one bore personal stories, demands for change, symbols of each person's fight. Yet, while the crowd's energy pulsed like beating hearts, the officers stood firm, clad in authority. You'll need to disperse, one officer barked again, his voice tinged with unease. Why? Shouted Leah from beside Sarah, her eyes blazing with the fire of 1,000 untold stories. Why should we vanish into the dark just because you say so? Are our voices so threatening? The officer was momentarily thrown off balance by her passionate words. He exchanged glances with his partners, and for a fleeting moment, it felt as if the air might change. But then another officer stepped up, his face drawn, and he barked the orders again. You're obstructing public space. Move aside. The crowd responded like one entity, growing in solidarity. We will not move. Sarah yelled, rallying the voices around her. They held on to one another, linked by this moment of vulnerability and strength. Fear flickered again in Sarah's chest, but this time it transformed into an unstoppable wave of hope. No longer was she an observer, she had stepped into a role she never thought she'd play. Somewhere in the back of her mind, a question lingered: what was she truly ready to risk? They had power here, a voice that echoed anew. But the stakes were rising. Would they clash with authority, or could they turn this moment into something undeniable? As she gazed into the sea of faces, she felt the weight of their dreams pressing against her. She would not let fear steal from them what they were fighting for, what she was fighting for. But in doing so, was she prepared to become a different version of herself? Together, we rise. Together, we fight. She shouted, and the crowd mirrored her call, their voices intertwining in a melody of defiance. But just then, something shifted. A roar of sirens blared in the distance, growing louder. The authorities had surely called for reinforcements. Sarah's heart raced with the realization, this was just the beginning. As dread mixed with determination, she thought of what was to come. How far would they go, and would they be ready for the truth that awaited them on the other side? The sirens echoed like a thunderstorm approaching on the horizon, sending ripples of anxiety through the crowd. Eyes darted toward the street, where flashing lights pierced the gathering dusk. As the noise grew louder, Sarah felt a surge of urgency within her. This was no longer just about sharing stories, it was about standing together in a moment that would define them. She turned to her friends, Leah, Mia, and Jake, who stood resolutely beside her. "We won't let fear define us," she declared, her voice cutting through the tension. "Tonight, we stand for every woman whose voice has been silenced, for every story that has gone untold." The crowd responded with fervor, voices rising together. "Together, we stand." They shouted, layering their responses over one another in an overwhelming chorus of defiance. As the police reinforcements arrived, the tension thickened, but Sarah felt sparks of strength igniting in her heart. She knew they had to remain peaceful, to project love instead of fear. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her mind, telling her of resilience amidst adversity. A man in uniform stepped forward, his expression begrudgingly softened by curiosity. "What is it you want?" he asked, mirroring the thousands of questions swirling in Sarah's heart. More voices broke through. Women spoke of their pain, stories of loss, heartbreak, courage, and triumph. Each shared word painted the atmosphere with colors of vulnerability, and the officer's facade began to crack slightly under its weight. "We want to reclaim our heritage," an elderly woman declared. "To honor our ancestors who fought for survival. We want our stories to be heard, not ignored." As Sarah listened, her own spirit surged. It wasn't just about today, it was about creating a legacy that would echo for generations, a sisterhood that would not only honor the past but empower the future. "Let us show them what unity looks like," she cried out, her hands gripping her friends tightly. "For every woman who has fought, for every child with dreams, for every voice hushed for too long." As if summoned by her words, the crowd erupted again, their unified voices swelling into a powerful anthem of hope and resilience. The officers shifted uneasily, clearly taken aback by the sheer force of community spirit before them. Sarah observed how stories wove through the air, binding them together like strands of a great tapestry. Voices connected lives once isolated, fragile tales fueling a movement that demanded to be heard. "Will you stand with us?" she shouted at the officers, the vulnerability in her heart bearing itself anew. "Will you join us in seeking justice and hope? Or will you turn your backs on change?" In the depths of her plea, there was a spark, an opening, a moment when something could shift. The officers stood still, listening, their expressions hardening and softening as they exchanged uncertain glances. Suddenly, the officer who had first approached stepped forward, lowering his weapon. "We may not have all the answers," he said slowly, "but it seems wrong to stifle voices for change." The crowd gasped collectively, shocked by the breakthrough. It was a glimmer of hope piercing through the dark tide of fear, echoing the belief that perhaps they could rewrite the narrative. "Yes," Sarah cried out, her heart flooding with gratitude. "We're not here to create confrontation, we're here to build bridges. To spark conversations that generate real change." As admiration rippled through the crowd, something remarkable happened. The police began to lower their shields, placing them aside, walking toward the gathering rather than against it. One by one, officers nodded, acknowledging the very real power of collective voices. The moment felt transformative, a collective breath of relief intermingled with exhilaration. Yet, just as the crowd's spirits soared, a realization dawned: what was next? They had risen to this moment of profound change, but how could they sustain that momentum? The only way forward is together, Sarah proclaimed, glancing around her at her friends, the elders, and those who had shared their stories. Do we have a plan? Can we turn this moment into a movement? We can form a committee. One enthusiastic member of the crowd suggested. Share our stories regularly. Lift up every voice who feels unheard. The group leaned in, energy buzzing, thoughts intertwining. Session after session sprang to life, a vision to build a community that thrived on shared experiences, a tapestry woven through engagement and unity. As Sarah stood at the cusp of this new beginning, her heart soared. They weren't just voices among the noise, they were cultivating a legacy that would echo even beyond their small town. They would create the sisterhood. I spoke of an unbreakable bond forged through love, strength, and the stories that connected them all. In that powerful moment, Sarah realized they had ignited something real, an unstoppable desire for change. It wouldn't be easy, but they would keep walking together. As night cloaked the earth, they raised their voices, each shout a promise, every word a vow to keep the momentum alive. With hope glowing like embers in the dark, they faced whatever lay ahead, ready to conquer fears, share stories, and support one another beyond this night. Let us move forward. Sarah shouted, heart bursting. Let us tell the world about our sisterhood. Let us change history together. And together, they stepped into the night, knowing the journey had only just begun. Now, more than ever, they were unstoppable. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let us ride this wave of hope together. Join us.